From Matthew 27. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. And sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed the written charge against him: "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." The same way the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders mocked him. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him, for he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" In the same way, the rebels who were crucified with him also heaped insults on him. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those standing there heard this, they said, "He's calling Elijah." Immediately, one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled it with wine vinegar, put it on a staff, and offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, "Now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to save him." And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. When the centurions and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, "Surely he was the Son of God." How could he say that? How could he say, surely he was the Son of God? I mean, Jesus, he had to have been a mess. As Pilate said after he had him beaten, "Look at the man. Look at the man." Pilate was looking for mercy but found none. The crowd yelled, "Crucify him, crucify him." We read these words and we don't think of what they mean. Pilate had Jesus flogged, 39 lashes. If you've read about it, the back from the top of the neck down past the buttocks was laid open in rivulets of flesh, down to the very spine. Many people didn't survive it. And we just read it in the words. He was flogged. Afterwards, the soldiers stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him and then twisted together a crown of thorns and smashed it on his head. How could he say? How could he say this must have been the Son of God? They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again and again. You know, I don't think I'd seen that before. I mean, as somebody who kind of got knocked around in the head a lot, wow. Wow. How could he say, this man must have been the Son of God? Those who passed by hurled insults at him. "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." How could he think? How could he say that? When Jesus couldn't even protect himself from people ridiculing him. The same way the leaders, chief priests, and elders mocked him. Saved others, but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross and we'll believe in him. Trust in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him, for he said, "I'm the Son of God." How could he possibly have thought that, this pagan centurion? And the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened. He had eyes to see. There was this horrible earthquake when Jesus breathed his last. Go ahead. The earth shook and the rocks split and the tombs broke open. I grew up in Southern California. I never saw an earthquake like this. I had an earthquake once when my bed moved from one end to the other, but I never saw an earthquake like this, where the rocks split. Did nobody else notice that? And then this. For the 6th hour till the 9th hour, darkness came over all the land. Now we read that because we don't remember what 6th hour to 9th. That's noon. Noon to 3 in the afternoon, it was pitch dark. Didn't the other folks see that? Just this pagan centurion? He's the only one that saw this evidence? And he must have seen what was on the cross. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews, huh? And he must have heard the crowd, almost as if someone else was controlling him, over and over again saying, if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God. He saw the evidence. He took it in. Do you see the evidence? I know this is Good Friday, and we're not supposed to talk about it, but anytime Christians get together, it's a Easter day. Do you see the evidence of this person this God-man who suffered and died? Do you see the evidence of the empty tomb? Do you see the evidence of all those who said they saw him alive, who would lay down their lives for him? By the way, that wasn't by faith, was it? They knew whether he was alive or not. It wasn't by faith, they knew. And there was no break in the ranks anywhere. Do you see the evidence? Do you let the Spirit of God touch your heart with that evidence? Those words through which he reveals that to you, do you receive that Spirit that whispers to your heart it's true for you? He came for you. Centurion saw the evidence, but he also saw the man. In Mark, a parallel passage, it introduces what he said with these words. When the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus, so here's the cross, here's the centurion. He saw the man. Do you see that? He looked at him. He saw his character. When they standing in front of Jesus heard his cry and saw how he died. Do you see the man? Do you see him whipped and beaten and bleeding and crushed? Do you see him being nailed to the cross? If you ever do any reading, the nails would have hit these huge nerves in his hands and feet. It would have been horrible. And he would have had to have lifted himself up for every breath with his emaciated back on this wood, with this uneven wood. It was terrible. Until he finally died choking in his own blood. Do you see the man? Centurion saw the man and he heard his words, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The first thing out of his mouth. This was some kind of a man, wasn't it? He didn't curse those who were cursing him. He said, Father, forgive them. It's as if he knew God the Father personally, huh? Do you hear him speaking those words for you? I don't think one of us knows what our sin, all the places we've missed the mark, and the hurts we've done. I don't think any of us understand fully what we've done. Do you see the man in his heart for you? Do Do you see his authority? Truly I say to you, today you'll be with me in paradise. You see his love as he's suffering, as he's bleeding, as he's dying. He thinks of his mother, and he takes care of her. Do you see him? I don't think a mere man could do that. What do you think? And when he cries out, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And he says, I thirst you. Centurion, who maybe was thinking this was the Son of God, he also understood the suffering was real. Do you know that? Do you see his heart for you in that suffering? And at the end, it's like he was there to finish a mission, huh? It was enough. We've talked here the last few weeks about this word reconciliation, and it means just that. It was enough. There's this mystery that is the cross. There's this mystery that is the suffering of Jesus in our place on the cross. We can't quite understand how it all works. So God says to us, you don't have to understand. Just understand I even it all out. That's what reconciliation is. That you put all of your gunk on the one side, and you put what Jesus did on the other, and his grace wins. Do you see that in the words, it is finished? And you see that in the same way he could put himself into the hands of his Father. Because of that grace, you can as well. Centurion just opened his eyes and his heart, and the Spirit of God touched him. So that he could say, surely this was the Son of God. Do you know that? Can you say that? Will you say it together with me? Here we go. Surely this was the Son of God. Amen.